Now we're going to go to our GMA exclusive. It's my one-on-one with former Bachelor Chris Soules. He's the star opening up in his first television interview about the fatal car crash he was involved in nearly 2.5 years ago. I had a chance to speak with him about the incident, his arrest, why he left the scene, and how he's facing the painful aftermath. We first met Chris Soules as the charming farmer on season 10 of The Bachelorette.
My name is Chris.
Chris, nice to meet you.
And the next year, Soules taking over as The Bachelor, even bringing his love interest to visit his family's rural Iowa farm.
Love is a lot like farming. You plant a seed, you hope it grows.
But just 2 years after giving out that final rose and competing on Dancing with the Stars, Chris was making different headlines. Arrested for leaving the scene of a car crash that resulted in the death of 66-year-old Army veteran Kenneth Mosher. Tell me, what did you do that day?
That evening was just as normal as it always is. I was on my way to pick up one of our hired men. I was driving down a rural road, a country road, in the dark, and the next thing I know, I'm basically coming to inside of one of our pickups.
Soules had crashed into a tractor being driven by the local farmer, a husband, father of 2, and grandfather of 3.
All I remember is waking up and just saying, I need help. That's all I knew, is something bad had happened and I needed help.
According to court documents, Mosher was traveling down the dark country road, quote, without any lights on. After the crash, Chris said he escaped out of one of his windows when he heard a man's voice, a witness to the accident, yelling in the distance.
I just heard a voice saying, call 911. I worked my way over to the voice in the ditch and came upon a man that was obviously seriously injured.
Is he breathing, Chris?
I can't tell. It doesn't appear to be.
And I began administering CPR, doing chest compressions.
Check to see if he's breathing.
And you did everything in your power you felt of trying to resuscitate him.
Right.
And after the paramedics arrived, they're working on Mr. Mosher in the ditch. And at one point you made a critical decision to leave. So why did you leave the scene at that point?
I don't know that I was thinking clearly. I notified the authorities of what had happened. The paramedics were there, but I was scared and wanted to be in a safer place. I just went home.
Hours later, police arriving at Chris's home, informing him Mr. Mosher had died and arrested him for leaving the scene of an accident. Did it ever cross your mind to go back?
When I left, I called my parents. They're both in consensus, just said call an attorney. Because
for a lot of people, when something like this happens and you leave the scene and there's a fatality and then you call an attorney before you talk to someone, they'll look at it and go, well, there must be something he's hiding.
No, I had nothing to hide, honestly.
Chris says he's sorry for the terrible loss the Mosher family has endured, but that his world too was turned upside down when media reports surfaced that he had been drinking and left the scene without trying to help Mosher. According to a police report, they say there were alcoholic beverages or containers in your vehicle. Were you drinking that night?
No, I was not drinking that night. The fact is the truck is not mine. It's not even in my name. We employ over 15 people, and those cans could have been anybody's. There were 4 witnesses that swore under oath that they saw no evidence of me appearing to be intoxicated or under the influence of any sort of drug or alcohol.
Just last month, Chris pled guilty to a reduced misdemeanor charge, leaving the scene of a personal injury accident. He was sentenced to 2 years probation. But there are also going to be people who say, well, an accident happened, someone was killed, he got probation. It's not fair. He should serve more time. So what do you have to say to them?
The fact is I was never charged with causing the accident. I was charged with leaving the scene of a serious injury accident. A man did die, and it was a tragedy. My sentence is living with this for the rest of my life.
Soules telling us he hopes to speak to the Mosher family and heal together. What do you think you would say to them?
I wish I could have done more. Wish I could have saved his life. I wish I wouldn't have been on that road. And I hope you know I did everything I could.
And sitting there talking to him, knowing all the stories that we have heard about the drinking and leaving the scene, but actually understanding, having the witnesses there corroborating that no alcohol was involved. But it's still tough. He lives in a small community in Iowa. everyone knows everyone. So this is a devastating loss for the entire community
He says,
with
what
the
a
death of
burden to
Mr.
live
Mosher.
with.
Yeah. You asked them all the right questions.
Yeah.
You did, yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.